crazy awesome team of transparent people who are just honest, filled with integrity, and do not want to lead somebody, astray without having that personal testimony. So I think that's a big one. I mean, that's what I guess I would say.
Thank you. That's a really good thing to jump. It's a good jumping off point. One is it's your decision. I'm not here to force you to start building something that you're not comfortable with. However, I want to set an understanding, and this is something that you will go back and you will probably, some of you will really be upset with yourselves. And here's why. And I'll give you a real life scenario, even though I have tons of people in the industry who've told this story from stage over the years. In my last company, I got in month 2, which was the 7th week that company was in business. I was number 139. I want to give you that for a minute. In the last company I was in, almost 2 months in, I was number 139. We are 37 days in, and we have 12,000 people. I want to say that again. 12,000 people versus 139. That company was one of the fastest growing direct selling companies over the last 5 years. That company went into massive momentum. I made over $6 million. My team did 580 million. Of the 710 million that company did in sales, my team, from me down, did 580 of it. Let me tell you why. 2 reasons. 1, I believed in the product and I used it myself. Okay. But that wasn't why I made big money. It really wasn't. I saw my sponsor start weeks before me, and he called me. This is a true story. He called me and he said, "What are you doing? You ever going to get off your thumbs?" And I went, "I'm going through a divorce. I'm dead broke. I'm broken as a female, as a wife, as a human being. My kids' lives are going to fall apart because of my decision to walk away from this marriage. Yes, the product's working for me. I don't know how to get out of my own way." He goes, "Well, I've been building this for 2 months while you've been sitting on your thumbs." This is a true story. He goes, "My check is $40,000 a month. Guys, I didn't have enough money to get out of that house to get away from my really bad marriage." And when he said that he had gotten up to 40,000 in 2 months, I was simultaneously excited and angry at the same time. And I was so mad at myself because pre-launches and early launch, meaning the company was open, they weren't in pre-launch, but no one knew what they had in their hands yet. No one did. Very few people had the product. They couldn't even manufacture enough of it to get it in the hands of the people that needed it. And I went, "Oh my God, I'm going to miss it." And of the people who did not build, even though they got in the same week as me, some were number 141, some were number 148. There were people who didn't start for 6 months. They were, "Oh, I'm going to wait for this month for the product to really work." That was a much harder product to sell, and sometimes it took 2 or 3 months for it to even work. So forget that this shows up really quick for you with Zenith. But there were people to this day have reached out to me and said, "I wasted so much time hoping it would work for me when I had thousands of testimonials on the pages you created, Danielle." I had a men's page and a women's page that cumulatively had 500,000 people in less than 6 months join those pages. At the same rate right now, we're very similarly adding the same amount of people, but we're actually making only 5 a day on that page. Why? So we'd have tens of thousands more. I mean, people want to put in hundreds a day. The problem is Facebook will shut it down. So I say all this to say, some of you are waiting for your own personal testimonial because you have a warped idea or a warped sense of what you need, or a misconception of what you need for someone to believe you. You don't need to be on a product yet for people to believe, because what we have is demonstratable proof with clinicals. Now, the clinical we have is enough whether or not any of us were on it now. If I was the only one on the product and all you had were my photos and the clinical study, you could build to China. The problem is most of you are saying, "Well, people need to know from me." No, that's a false belief and mindset you've set for yourself. And if you do that, the time wasted in pre-launch, by the way, pre-launch is the most powerful time to build, because you will have the kind of exponential growth if you jump out of the gates quick by using what we call borrowing the testimonials and stories of those who are already using it. Just so you know, hundreds of people have the test product. We're out, so please don't ask. We're out of the test product. We have several hundred people on the product. Some are on week 1, some are on day 2, some are on day 16, some are on week 8, some are on week 10. All I know is the strategy that I had to get those samples from the formulator and the strategy I had to keep sending out testers and test bunches has now built for you the kind of stories and photos that you can build this thing all the way to the top of the comp plan, even if you never pop a pill in your mouth. And by the way, we have pregnant people in our company who cannot use it because we don't test on pregnant women, and no single pregnant woman should ever go on a diet, right? And yet we have people who are pregnant making money, and I'm talking good money, not $5 a week, not $50 a month. We're talking thousands a month already in commissions because they've decided to actually believe the stories we're putting out there. That is your decision, though. If you decide you have to have your own testimonial, then the only thing you're going to have to live with outside of your integrity, which is great, and I commend you. What problem is the flip side of that is you lose out on precious time that you never get back. Someone's going to talk to your neighbor. Someone's going to talk to your best friend. Someone's going to go after your network because this thing's building faster than anything I've ever been in. And so it's the timing that you're pushing aside one thing to say, well, I got to have this to do this. No, they don't have to both happen for you to build it to China. I also know a woman who's in our company now who made millions, and I will have her speak her own story. She's from Texas. She's a good friend of mine now. When I met her 2 years ago in my previous company, she got on the call with me and she goes, yeah, I'm a 7-figure earner. I made millions in such and such a company. And she goes, you want to hear something crazy? She goes, I never tried the product. This is a true story. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, I was allergic to one of the ingredients, but I saw all my friends and people around me that I put on the product doing well with it. So I went for it and I never once consumed the product. And I was like, that's genius. She goes, why would I miss out? And I was like, the fact that you made millions and you were able to have the posture to say, no, I'm not taking it. I can't. Or no, let's replace that, guys. It's not in my hands yet, but I'm not missing out. And there are millions of people who are going to join and I'm not slowing down. That's the kind of posture you need. So if that's what's in your head, you need to shift your mindset. It's all about shifting your perspective. And so if you decide after listening to what I said to still wait, I don't fault you for it. I'm just telling that comes at a price that sometimes you don't realize the price until later when people are hitting blue diamond and black diamond and you're like, oh, I waited 5 weeks. I waited 8 weeks. Because if we ship in mid-October, which looks like we're going to be shipping at the end of the second week, let's just say, could be sooner, but let's say, and then you get it the following week. Now it's November 1st, it's November 5th, November 10th before you've got something solid. Do you want to wait all those weeks to build volume? Trust me, you don't. So your job is to say, I have my order on, wasn't able to be a tester. I'm going to show you all the photos. I'm going to drop you in the testimony. You're going to hear live interviews. We got something beautiful. We also have clinical studies. We have patented formulation. The product used to be on the market. It did incredible sales. Guys, we have something special. And I'm not waiting to get on it for me to tell you that you got to try this. That's it. And just go with it. Now, I wanted to jump into something else, but is there anything else, Elaine? That was really good, Raylene, but if there's anything else.
No, go ahead, Danelle.
Okay. So let's talk about your personal goals in this company, in this specific direct selling company, your goals. Because if you're not setting that goal now, tonight, if you haven't done it already, I want you to understand the goal you set tonight. And you're going to, and I know this is going to sound corny. Anyone have Post-its in their house? Get some Post-its, please. Order Post-its go to CVS, Rite Aid, get a thing of Post-its because I'm going to make you put Post-its up all the time until you're at the top of the comp plan. You're going to put a Post-it up tonight. And you're going to say, I am a diamond. Diamond is 20,000 on your lesser leg in a 5-week rolling. Not I'm going to be. I am a diamond with Awakened. And then let me look at my calendar so I have the date. Hold on. Most of you are going to do that from, and forget that some of you are already diamonds. Let's just start fresh for the other people. So we are on September 27th. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. November 1. I am a diamond, and it is November 1st, 2022. So if you were to start from scratch today, some of you have not, some of you already have banked a lot, and this is going to be happening much quicker. If you already know you're a diamond, I'm going to give you a different rank to write down. It's 5-week rolling, Jessica, great question. Every beginning of the week, which I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday yet, but it looks like it's going to be Sunday. It might be Saturday, but once we get paid, let's say we get paid on a Friday, the next day is your new week. Well, the oldest week of volume drops off, and that given week you're in becomes your new 5th week. Make sense? So it's 5 weeks rolling. That's all you need to know. So everything you've done on both legs, your 2 teams have done, left leg and right leg for selling of bottles. The more bottles you've sold in the left leg and the right leg, you're going to have a left leg 5-week cumulative and a right leg 5-week cumulative. That rolls, meaning the oldest week drops off at the beginning of the new work week, and that becomes your 5th week again. So you have a whole new week to bring in new sales and break ranks. That's all I'm going to tell you about that, because I don't want to get in the comp plan yet, and I don't want to confuse you. I am a diamond with Awakened, and it is November 1st, 2023. I have had people in my career, my 12 years, follow my teaching of the Post-its and writing down their ranks. They literally hit it on the day that I give them, and they freak out because they failed in every company prior, or they were brand new and they couldn't believe it. It's because they spoke it, they set the intention, and then they did the work to get there because their subconscious mind believed it as truth. Your subconscious mind will bring to pass whatever you tell it. If you say, I'm going to get cancer like my mother did at 49 years old, you will program your body to manifest the cancer. Your body believes every word you say. Your pocketbook believes every word you say. If you say, I can't afford it, you're darn right, you won't be able to. But if you say it's already mine and it's on its way to me, I'm at peace with it, I know it's mine. Now what happens is you accept it in your subconscious mind. And if you've never learned about subconscious mind, you have to read The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. It will radically change your life. That book is an absolutely incredible book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, Dr. Joseph Murphy. And what it basically says is, and there's even scripture in the book, which blew my mind because I didn't expect that from a science book. I'm a science geek, but I also follow scripture, and it's all in alignment. The words that you speak are what you bring to pass in your life, right? Just like words can be hurtful and harmful, you can also use words with people and with yourself that soothe your soul and that heal you. Words can be death or words can be life. There's no in between. You're either speaking life over yourself and your business and your family and your finances, or you're speaking death over it. The majority of us are programmed by society to speak death over everything. And you don't have to consider it actual death, okay? Stay with me on what that word death represents. The word death really in this instance represents failure, represents lack, represents poverty. If you want abundance, you actually profess what it is you want to see. It is a powerful word, a powerful statement, a powerful word track that will bring to your life the kinds of things that were already meant and are already stored up for you. The problem is most people don't know that we were given free will, and we can unlock the promises and unlock the abundance with our own words and our own thoughts. So people hear me say energy and they go, oh, you're a Christian, you shouldn't be talking about energy. Energy is matter. Matter was created by my creator in my mind. Okay, that's my belief. Matter came from, it had to be created, right? Stay with me, because this is where I got an A in philosophy in college and people thought I was weird. I love this stuff. If matter had to be created, and matter is energy and everything is vibrating. This table, it's not solid. It is vibrating. Some of you don't know this stuff. I'm going to teach you this in Awakened. Everything vibrates. Grass vibrates. If you look on Google tonight, it's fascinating to me that food has energy in it. Food is energy. Calories are energy, right? Stay with me. Some of you are going to go, holy cow, she blew my mind. If you look at the kind of Carillion, it's called Carillion photography. K-I-R-I-L-I-A-N. Look it up. They take pictures of food And with the way they do the photography, it shows the energy emanating from live food. Dead food shows no life in it. A carrot will look like it has light beams coming. Does anyone know this? Please unmute if you know this. The berries say yes, absolutely. Thank God. I just want to make sure I get this info to you. It's going to change your life. Food has energy. When you put live food in your body, when you take vegetables that are from the garden, no pesticides, no junk.
Jeremiah's like,
thank you. You put that in your body, it is energy, okay? So are your words. Everything is energy. Your words create an atmosphere, and the atmosphere you create is the atmosphere of what you're going to call more into. Energy attracts energy. Do you ever notice gossipy women? Sorry, ladies, but some people are. I used to be a gossiper. I was convicted a long time ago about it. I always say this statement now. You'll always hear me say it. That is not my story to tell you. It's the easiest way to get out of gossip without hurting your friend to say, that's not your story to tell, or that's not my story to tell. I don't want to hear this story. Ask my husband how many times my kids, we had a couple kids out of our 6 who were gossipers. And Scott and I were talking about it. I said, we need to keep saying to these 2 kids, I won't say their names, it's not your story to tell. We don't want to hear this story, because they would bring home information about their boss and who was cheating on who at work. It's not your story to tell. You don't know the truth. So back to energy. Your words are containers for power. And the minute you guys understand that the words you speak now, I am successful with Awakened. I am building a global business. Ironically, I said in my last company, it was just one of my statements. I had no idea what I was saying. I kept saying, I'm going to build this to China. Do you guys know my team opened up China in that company? And I became a multimillionaire. I said, we're going to build this to China. Where was the last country we opened? China. Out of nowhere, China. And it wasn't supposed to happen. It takes usually a decade to get into China. Our team got into China in the first 4 years. And it went crazy. I wasn't even realizing I was professing that, but I was speaking it right into existence. Do not get messed up on this. Some people go, oh my gosh, she's talking new age. No, I'm speaking truth about professing. What you profess out is from what's inside of you. So your thoughts, stick with me on this, going to literally radically change you in this business, and you will start making money if you stick with me. Your mind is not your brain. When I learned this, I was like, what do you mean it's not my brain? My brain is where my mind is. No, it's not. Your brain is a computer. The thoughts you think come from your mind, and it tells your brain, the computer, what to do. And the more you think on something, the more you build what we call a neural pathway. The neurons form a neural pathway, and you actually, and who's right? It says Beck Asen. She's shaking her head like, let's go, Danielle. I have taught this all over the world. Look up Dr. Caroline Leaf on YouTube. Thoughts are things. Yes, got the chills. I'm going to teach this at convention. It's going to rock your worlds. We're going to do an absolute 1 hour on this. All those neurons, as you think, I'm not good enough. This isn't going to happen for me. I'm going to fail. Let me just give you some of the things you're probably saying. It's some of it you're not even cognizant of. I get that. But when you do that, these neurons start to, they literally, we can see it in the YouTube video. It's fascinating to me. They all start to form what looks like tree branches in the winter with no leaves on them. And they look like these dark, desolate, kind of like highways. The more you think it, the thicker they become. They're like super highways. The more you think it, the sooner you jump onto that thought. How do you break that neural pathway that's keeping you from success, it's keeping you from abundance, is to not say, stop thinking that. Because the minute you say that, you think it more. What you do is you do exactly what I teach you now. You say the opposite statement so that the neural pathway creates over here that's new, and it turns off these neurons. They're no longer firing. They die. And you can watch on Dr. Caroline's thing where they start to fade away and the neural pathway dies because that old thought that wasn't serving you well dies off. The new one is what made this die. You don't need to focus on the death of that thought. You need to focus on the thought that brings life. The life thought kills the death thought. Does that all make sense? I'm loving myself tonight. This is good stuff. Okay. I feel like I should have done this for the whole company, but whatever. We'll do it again. So now, when you, because this is important, when you speak life over yourself in your mind, it ends up in your subconscious mind. I'm not going to get into conscious, subconscious, and all that. But I will say your conscious mind is what you know you're feeding yourself, right? Your subconscious mind only knows to do what you think or you say. So if you say this, I don't have cancer, I'm cancer free. Do you know that your subconscious mind hears cancer? Did you know that? It does not hear I don't have. Your subconscious mind only can hear what is a positive, it doesn't know right from wrong. That's what I meant to say. So your subconscious mind doesn't know that you're meaning to say I'm not fat. Guess what you should say every day? I'm lean, I'm healthy, I'm strong. You never say I'm not fat anymore. You never say I'm not broke anymore. And you never say I'm debt free. Your subconscious hears debt. And it will bring to pass what you have put into the atmosphere, because energy is real. Matter is energy. It is here to stay. It's everywhere around you. You are an influencer. You are an atmosphere changer. The reason why people walk into rooms and they change an atmosphere for good or bad is because of the energy that's vibrating off of them, because of the thoughts they're thinking on. You darn well know when I'm PO'd in my house, I walk in a room and everybody knows the atmosphere changed when mom's not happy. Oh boy. Last night, my 16-year-old son and his friend, who he brought to the game, decided it was funny to start passing gas in the hotel room. My husband's energy changed so fast. He was like this, his nonverbals. He's cranky, and I'm trying not to laugh. It's gross. I don't want to be around it either, but I thought it was funny. And I'm looking at my husband going, ooh, atmosphere is changing. Rightfully so. He wasn't happy. He thought it was disrespectful. They changed an atmosphere, right? With what they were doing, they made it to me funny, but to Scott, his energy changed. You can shift the atmosphere of an entire community with your power and your presence and your beliefs and your thoughts. Always make sure that what you're thinking on, that you're coaching yourself, that you are strong, that you are loved. I could not say those things to myself 15 years ago. I grew up in a very broken home, as you guys know. I was one of the most diseased mindsets you would ever find. And now you can't get me to talk like that, because I inherently know I am special. I say all the time, I'm not special. I don't mean that. I am loved. I am blessed and highly favored. I am more than enough. I grew up thinking I was not good enough. Whatever you're sitting on now is actually sitting there, and it's sitting in your subconscious mind. And it's very hard to have achievement in your life when you are programmed for failure. Your thoughts end up in your subconscious. And as soon as the subconscious mind finally hears it enough, it goes like this. Oh, truth. And it holds on to it until you reprogram your subconscious mind. Everything I'm teaching you tonight is gold, because tonight on, if you just write 4 or 5 things on every night, and I want Linda, I'm just seeing your face, and I'm right next to Beck here, and I love the way you've been. I'm very animated myself. But let's just say tonight, Linda, you write down 5 things about yourself that you know are not true, that you have struggled with those thoughts, you have battled with those false mindsets, and you want to undo them. Okay. And I don't know what those are, and I'm not going to make you bring it up publicly. 4 or 5 things about you. Might be way ahead of the team, but let's say you're not. Then you would write the opposite tonight. You would write, I am more than enough. Because most people struggle with unworthiness, right? Most people do. I am more than enough. I am powerful. I am healthy. Maybe I don't know. Maybe she's got something she's struggling with in her health. Speak to those cells. Speak to those organ systems. Speak life over your body. Speak life over your finances. Speak life over your children. Speak life over your house. Speak life, life, life. And do it also with your business. And I'm going to leave you with this, because I want to do more of this next week with you guys. I am traveling for a big, big event where we're going to go hire a few amazing executives next week in Dallas at Direct Selling University. So I'm going to be out of the office for a few days with my business partners, but I want to do this either early next week or right after that, the week after. I want you to say these things to yourself for the next week until I see you again. I want you to be saying about your business. And I've done tapping, Amy. It's helped me so much to break some of the traumas in my life. Amazing. It helps interrupt that physiological response to trauma when you all of a sudden think you're reliving it. But we'll get into that another day. I love all this stuff. So I want you guys to only be talking about the business tonight to yourself, not just about who you are, but it's this. My business on both team legs is growing exponentially in multiple countries. Now, you may not be in multiple countries yet. I don't care. We're going to call the things that are not as though they are. So we say it, then we see it. We don't just see it and then say, oh, it's here. You want to be happy, healthy, and strong? My best friend, Bonnie Jean, who's in this company with us, she has a saying that I've heard her say for the last decade. She goes, I'm the happiest, healthiest person I know. She's been widowed from the love of her life for 16 years, has dated no one. I'm not saying I agree with that. I think she's a beautiful gem, but she walks around not feeling sorry for herself because she's constantly programmed herself that she's the happiest, healthiest person she knows. And I love that about her. I get the chills when she says it. And you know what? Her body believes it. Her mind believes it. And she's in a perpetual state of not just abundance, but she's doing so well in life and in business because she walks around saying, my business is growing in multiple countries, exponentially on both legs. Okay, all these types of things I'm going to teach you may sound for some of you like, dude, this lady's off her rocker. Stick with me, please. I'm going to teach you things that most people in the industry are going to say to you, don't do that. Here's what you do. Pick up the phone. You know what people do? Quit. But when you've programmed yourself for success, picking up the phone or posting becomes no big deal because you already know it's yours. So now you're just doing the work naturally. You don't have that big block. Some of you are so blocked energetically because you have been programmed that some teacher told you you're not good enough. Somebody told you that you're a failure. Your ex-spouse or ex-partner or someone you dated said you'd never do better than them. And you actually believed it was true. And I know because I used to believe false things too. And it held me back for most of my life. No more. I don't let people speak those things over me. I don't allow myself. I guard my eyes, my ears of what's going in. I'm conscious about what I say. And when I do make a mistake or my husband does, we just say delete, delete, cancel, cancel, and helps the person go, oh, I didn't even know I just spoke that over myself. Right? Don't say you're an idiot. Don't say you're not smart. You are smart. You are loved. You are healthy. You are strong. You are amazing. And all this stuff over time is going to turn you into a powerhouse. You already are. You just don't know it yet because those false mindsets are those neural pathways that you have just jumped on those every day of your life. Anytime it's a bad day, oh, it's because I'm stupid. Oh, well, I was raised by idiots. I used to say all the time, if my parents weren't, such dysfunctional people, maybe I'd be happy in life. And then I realized it was me who was perpetuating my life and my sadness, even though my suffering was perpetuating. I was already out of that house. I was in my late 20s, still miserable. Why? Because I kept sitting on those thoughts. Meanwhile, I was in a prison that it wasn't even the door that was locked. I had the power the whole time to get out of that prison. You will make money in network marketing, regardless of the great company and product that we're bringing you. You'll make money anywhere if you start speaking life over yourself, if you program your mind. Once you do, you unlock your potential, and your potential is limitless. Does that make sense? I am going to get you guys to the point where you're walking around like little Les Browns and little, if you like Tony Robbins, I don't like the F-bombs all the time, but he is very smart. Find the leader that you love. Les Brown is one of my biggest influences. Go look up Les Brown on YouTube. He'll blow your mind. Now, Ona Brown, his daughter's in our company. She's a powerhouse on her own. She doesn't want to be known as Les Brown's daughter. And her book that I'm reading is extraordinary. And she's going to be standing on stage at convention teaching you guys about finding your message and how to get your message out to the world. You all have a story, but you haven't yet, for some of you, turned it into your message. The minute you're able to take your pain and your trauma and you're able to walk away from it, heal, get to a place where you accept it, and then you use that message to lead out into the world, you're going to build an extraordinary organization because people will be attracted to you as a leader. They're attracted to your energy. They're attracted to what you put out there. It's still a great product. Don't try to build this on just a product. Build this on your inherent potential to do great things and lead people to greatness. That's your job. Your job is to become great and then lead people to greatness.